This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin FREAKIN.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol, live. Hold on, let me check the date. It's a freaking Wednesday. I got off track. I got off track because of yesterday. The weather was trying to kill me again. It ended up not being that bad, but we did have thunderstorms right around the time that I would have been on here trolling. I don't like to turn on the electronics during the thunderstorms because we get really bad surges here. We get really bad power surges. And I've already lost a TV. So I like my electronics and I don't want anything to happen to them. What is up, Sky Comet? What is up, Tones? Ginger? Welcome. I'm not high enough for this shit. So my apologies for my absence last night. I was going to watch Jackass, and I ended up not doing that. Ended up just playing video games all night, because I don't have a life. I asked Sparkles if she wanted to watch Jackass with me, and she wasn't into it. We're going to watch West Side Story this weekend. It's Oscar weekend. Fuck, it's hot in here. Hold on. I don't like that shit. What are we talking about tonight? Louisiana is what got hit the hardest last night, and if we have time, I want to show you guys some videos. I got a video of a truck that got sucked up in a tornado and then was able to drive off. Goes up in the tornado and then drives off. It's insane. But New Orleans got hit particularly hard last night. I've got a few different videos. I don't know who John Doyle is. There's been a lot of Twitch drama going on. Apparently Destiny got banned just a few hours ago. I was trying to share my show out to everybody, but then I saw that shit and I'm like trying to read what happened to Destiny like as the countdown's going on. There's the whole ContraPoints and Walsh had a whole falling out. I don't pay attention to any of that drama, but I see it like tangentially on the Twitter and shit. I don't know shit. I've watched ContraPoints videos. Natalie is fantastic. I love her videos. I don't know shit about Walsh because I don't watch other people that are in my lane that do the same thing as me. I don't know. It just happened a couple of hours ago. And I actually went live. Yay! I'm sorry. Did I not go? Last night. I probably had it set up because I had every intention of being on last night. But it was the weather. What's up, RB? Weed! Don't mind if I do. Because I'm joining the war on drugs on the side of drugs. Okay. Get this. In Miami, they are trying to impose a curfew. It doesn't seem like the mayor even thinks it's fucking legal because of spring break. Now, where are all the right-wingers calling this shit tyranny? Apparently, they're shutting down the liquor stores at 7 or 8. And they're shutting the bars down at midnight because of spring break. Where's the right-wingers screaming tyranny? Warlord, thank you for the resub. Yes, no abortions for Oklahoma coming soon. That is one of the stories we will be covering tonight. The Oklahoma abortion ban that has advanced. There's also a similar to Texas law advancing in Idaho. Over in Utah, a bill to ban trans athletes in sports reached the governor's desk, and the Republican governor of fucking Utah did something you guys are going to think is pretty fucking based. And I have his letter, and his letter might actually, like, get you to respect a Republican for once. And hates that people masturbate. Well, he certainly doesn't want to be over here with me, because, you know, on this channel, we live in sexual anarchy.
You live in sexual anarchy?
I've masturbated 6 times a day, 7, maybe. I don't know. I'll lose count. Who cares? A poor dick is like, leave me alone. Not true. I've actually been pretty busy with work today. There's a librarian fire, and like I had this story set up for last night. I don't remember why the librarian was fired. Apparently they didn't remove some books the school board had a problem with. Governor Newsom in California heard about Joe Biden's almost proposal to send out gas cards and decided, hey, I'm going to do that. Looks like $400 in a debit card is coming to Californians. Matt Walsh and the Daily Wire, they got really upset because one of their sponsors pulled out because, you know, they're a shit company. Apparently it was like Harry's Razors or some shit. Was advertising on the Daily Wire, and they decided that their values didn't match up with the Daily Wire because, you know, that's the way capitalism works. Well, apparently the Daily Wire has launched their own brand of razors. I think they're called I Hate Harry's Razors or some shit. Maybe they were called something else, and the website is like I Hate Harry's Razors. It's the dumbest fucking thing. But it's been all over my social media this week, and I'm going to subject you guys to the fucking commercial. Oh, by the way, I've got video of Ted Cruz getting the cops called on him. There was a reason, but I mean, just being Ted Cruz is a good enough reason to have the cops called on you, right? Mr. Zodiac Killer. Remember the other day when I played an ad from Alabama Senate candidate Mo Brooks? It was one of those dumb ads. I don't even remember what all he said in the ad. Well, Trump has unendorsed Mo Brooks because Mo is a loser, is in 3rd place in the Alabama Senate race. So it looks like Mo is spilling the beans on Trump. You can use it for fair. RB is not a gas card. It is a debit card, as far as I know, from just reading the headline. I didn't read the story. But I believe it is just a debit card for you to spend at your discretion. So, woo! Good job. Absolutely, Ted Cruz is illegal. But Mo Brooks heated up some tea. He talked about what Trump wanted him to do. And I'm reading this, and I'm thinking we're talking about January of 2021, December of 2020, that Trump is proposing Mo Brooks rescind the election. That's what he wanted. Rescind the election. But no, this was Trump talking to Mo Brooks after Labor Day this past year. Like just a few months ago. Picture of Mo. You don't want a picture of Mo Brooks. Goddamn. Oh, fuck. I don't want to share that picture of Mark's right now. I mean, I have. Picture of Mo Brooks. This is what Mo Brooks looks like. He said on the House floor one time that there was a war on white people in this country. It might have been on Fox News. It might not have been on the House floor. But he was on the House floor when he said that the rising sea level was caused by rocks falling into the ocean. He is one of the dumbest absolute dumbest Congress people serving in Congress right now. He is my representative. I have met him on multiple occasions. He even complimented my fingernail polish one time. But he is really dumb. You know, I used to, I had a weed dealer at one point in time. He ran a, auto glass service. Like he'd come and, repair your, you would like either, replace your windshield or whatever, like right there in your driveway, or if you had like a little crack, he'd put the sealant on it or whatever. So he had a, you just pay him right there. He had a, a POS system, point of service. Point of service, is that what it's called? You just ran your credit card. So I'd go and I'd pick up my weed from him. I could just credit card, debit card, whatever I wanted. Whatever he took, I could use. Point of sale. Point of sale. As if me in retail. The only reason I knew it was called a POS system is because of watching Kitchen Nightmares. You don't have to run people's credit cards in radio. Point of service is the cock. Of course. Oh, we're going to cover the Ketanji Brown Jackson hearing in great detail. We're going to watch all kinds of videos. We're going to get a rundown of what happened yesterday, and then we're going to like cover in detail what happened today. Republicans been coming at her with all kinds of stupid nonsense. I was watching Marsha Blackburn question her as we were coming on. They just adjourned right before the start of the stream. I think I might get up early tomorrow, have my coffee, hop on the stream with you guys. You want to watch, you want day 4 of the Ketanji Brown Jackson hearings? They've been interesting thus far. All the right is doing is grandstanding, yes, including Lindsey Graham. Tried to make a scene. He walked on out of the hearings today. Ted Cruz asked if he could identify as an Asian man. Absolute garbage. Cory Booker got some praise for a speech that he gave today. It was about 10 minutes long. I yanked, the 2 minutes of it that kept going around on Twitter. Apparently, he brought some people to tears and shit with the things he said. We're gonna get into all that, plus, Russia. Apparently, Putin is on edge. The U.S. has accused Russia of committing war crimes in Ukraine. We have video of some Russian activists, or Ukrainian activists, Ukrainian activists actually facing down a Russian oligarch's yacht. Plus an update on Brittany Griner. We do have confirmation of her well-being from the U.S. Embassy now. Let's start off tonight with talk about death. Let's talk about some death. Here is, we're not going to get into COVID tonight, but I do want to make a point of letting everybody know Jen Psaki has tested positive for COVID. It seems to be going around in Washington, D.C. right now. Multiple senators have tested positive. We've covered, it's a sub-variation of Omicron. So they don't want to give it its own Greek letter, because they still think it's close enough to Omicron, but it's about 30% more transmissible, they believe. It doesn't look to be any more deadly, but if it's just as deadly as Omicron, 30% more transmissible, that's an issue. And Omicron also evaded 2 of our monoclonal antibody treatments. It was more evasive of the vaccine than the Delta. Not completely, but more evasive to the vaccine than Delta. Dip, that's probably what I'm thinking. That's what we're going to talk about next here, because let me tell you, I was hoping when I heard about a statesperson dying, it was going to be Justice Clarence Thomas, but no, it was Madeleine Albright, the first female U.S. Secretary of State, who died at the age of 84. Passed away from cancer. Family announced. Albright made history as the first woman to hold the position, serving under former President Bill Clinton from 1997 until 2001. I don't know anything off the top of my head that Madeleine Albright did, because I was still a kid during the Clinton administration. Coming of age, I was becoming a teenager during the whole Monica Lewinsky thing. I actually saw Clinton speak when I was in 8th grade. It was right in the middle of the Monica Lewinsky shit. It was like 98, the end of 98. Beginning of 99, something like that. I remember, like, I went to a Christian school at the time, and it took him forever to come out. Like, it was like an hour wait past when his speech was supposed to happen. And, like, the pastor I was sitting next to was like, he's probably back there adjusting his tie. I got to meet him. I actually have, if you want to see, I got a picture with him. Me in the class. Signed. The picture is signed by Clinton himself. Boom. That would be me. Right there. Be Bill Clinton. That would be the governor's grandson, or step-grandson, which is why we were able to go meet Bill Clinton. But I don't remember very much about the Clinton administration, but pretty sure fuck Madeleine Albright. But I was really hoping for Thomas on the bingo card. I had no clue. Like, I knew who Jeffrey Epstein was in 1998. Apparently, Madeleine Albright was surrounded by family and friends. A tireless champion of democracy. I'm reading a press release right now in human rights. She was, at the time of her death, professor at Georgetown University School of Foreign Service, chair of the Albright Stonebridge Group, part of Denton's Global Advisors, chair of Albright Capital Management, president of the Harry S. Truman Scholarship Foundation, chair of the National Democratic Institute, and chair of the U.S. Defense Policy Board, and an author. Family continued to express their love for Albright, explaining that she founded the Albright Institute for Global Affairs at Wellesley College. I thought it was Wesleyan College, but like, nope, that's not what that said. Wellesley College, served as a lifetime trustee at the Aspen Institute. A member of the chapter. Fucking none of this means anything to me. I thought I was going to get some history of Madeleine Albright in this. Well, fuck off, Yahoo News. This article was nonsense. Who cares? I don't give a shit. I was wanting to blame her for the Elon Gonzalez thing, but that was Janet Reno. The High Court won't say whether Justice Clarence Thomas remains hospitalized. And there are people close to him that tweeted out this morning prayers for Justice Thomas. So it looks like what is going on with Clarence Old Pube Can Thomas is pretty serious. Now, he was hospitalized on Friday. We found out about it on Sunday. They said it was a viral infection, and there is an outbreak of COVID going around Washington, D.C. Fuck, I also forgot. COVID is indeed viral. The Supreme Court actually had a ruling last night on a Wisconsin election map where they overruled This was completely unprecedented. They overruled the state Supreme Court's ruling, which ruled in favor of a more revised map that had been put together to be more fair. The Supreme Court struck down that ruling and allowed stand the original gerrymandered map that the GOP in Wisconsin had put together. U.S. Supreme Court threw out Wisconsin's new state legislative maps on Wednesday in a ruling that boosts Republicans and takes aim again at one of the last remaining provisions to protect voting discrimination. The ruling is the latest of many in recent years in which the U.S. Supreme Court has been hostile to voting rights. Now, this happened in the shadow docket overnight. Does the court know something? Is Thomas in a precarious situation and they're trying to throw through as much bullshit as they can? Fuck, I hope so. And fuck, I want Biden to have another pick. The Supreme Court declined to say on Wednesday whether 73-year-old Justice Clarence Thomas remains in the hospital, though he had been expected to be released by Tuesday evening. The court said Sunday that Thomas had been admitted to Sibley Memorial Hospital in Washington on Friday after experiencing flu-like symptoms, and he was diagnosed with an infection. His symptoms are abating, and he was expected to be released Monday or Tuesday, the court said in a statement at the time. But on Wednesday morning, court spokeswoman Patricia McCabe said she had no update to provide. Court heard arguments Wednesday morning, and Chief Justice John Roberts said, as he has for the past 2 days, that while Thomas was not present, he would participate in the case by reviewing the arguments, transcripts, and briefs. Roberts said Thomas was unable to be present today without explanation. Thomas did not have COVID-19, and his infection was being treated with intravenous antibiotics, the court has said. The court has said that it's not COVID. Thomas, a conservative and appointee of former President George H.W. Bush, has been on the court since 1991. What somebody on Twitter had this, self-righteous, indignatious tweet. Anyone wishing for the death of Clarence Thomas who doesn't give a shit really needs to question their morals. Ha 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 ha! I hope it's painful. I cracked myself up. All right, so because it wasn't on last night, we're gonna skim over what happened yesterday. Here are the 5 must-see moments according to The Hill. It's only 2:42. As far as I know, there was a hell of a lot more fireworks going on during the confirmation hearing yesterday, and that's kind of why I want to cover it tomorrow. So if you guys want to watch the confirmation hearing with Ketanji Brown Jackson tomorrow, I do believe I'm going to stream it. I might try to get up early and stream the whole damn thing. We'll go all day long. But I might not do the normal stream tomorrow night if I do that. What wild ass fucking music from The Hill.
Now, what this book argues for is the exact opposite of what Dr. King spoke about on the floor of the Lincoln Memorial. And
oh wow, we have white man telling black woman about what Martin Luther King stood for.
And are you comfortable with these ideas being taught to children as young as 4 in respect to the first book, as young as 8 and 9 in respect to the second book?
Senator, I have not reviewed any of those books, any of those ideas. They don't come up in my work as a judge.
I'm suggesting the system has failed miserably, and advocates to change this system, like she was advocating, would destroy our ability to protect this country. We're at war. We're not fighting a crime. This is not some passage of time.
Hey, Lindsey Graham, the system has failed miserably. We lock up more people than any other country on the planet. while having like a third of China's population, while you call them authoritarian, by the way. We lock up more people than China while having a third of their population. The system has failed. Our recidivism rate is through the fucking roof. It's all about private prisons. It's a fucking racket. The system needs to be completely overhauled. That's why I am happy that Judge Jackson has been nominated.
Event. As long as they're dangerous, I hope they all die.
The system has failed, and that's because Lindsey Graham is still in power.
If 39 of them die in prison, that's a better outcome than letting them go.
Okay, now he is now that I got a little more information, I know specifically he is talking about the Guantanamo Bay detainees. So he was talking about whether they should be released into the United States. We are holding them indefinitely outside of the law at Guantanamo Bay, and what to do with them has been a big issue. Republicans grandstand with it and say that Democrats want to let these dangerous terrorists out.
39 of them die in prison. That's a better outcome than letting them go. And if it costs $500 million to keep them in jail, keep them in jail, because they're going to go back to the fight. Look at the friggin' Afghan government. It's made up of former detainees at Gitmo. This whole thing
that Trump negotiated with, you dumb shit.
By the left about this war ain't working.
Let me also note that Larry Thompson, who served as Deputy Attorney General...
There's your walkout from yesterday.
With all due respect, and I'm telling you what, I'll be direct with you. I am questioning your discretion, your judgment. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm not questioning you as a person. I'm not questioning your excellence as a judge, frankly. But you said it. You had discretion, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm questioning how you used your discretion.
Now, Judge, you're very intelligent and you're very articulate, and I know you're very well informed. You're telling me you don't have an opinion about packing the United States Supreme Court.
Senator, I have opinions about a lot of things. I don't have an opinion that I think it appropriate to share. I work very hard to set aside my opinions when I'm thinking about
for partisan politics,
the work of a judge.
And that's a partisan political question.
With both Justice Kavanaugh and Justice Barrett on this issue. Roe and Casey are the settled law of the Supreme Court concerning the right to terminate a woman's...
How slick was that on her part? I agree with Justice Amy Coney Barrett and Justice Kavanaugh that Roe solidifies a woman's right. Slick.
Pregnancy.
So that was a summation of what went on yesterday. Now we're going to get into several videos from what happened today. This is Chair Dick Durbin, who I think I called Leahy the Judiciary Chair the other day. My apologies. The Judiciary Chair is actually Dick Durbin. But Durbin opens the hearings this morning talking about the right-wing attacks on Brown from yesterday.
So I would say that the bottom line is this. You have done what 80% of the judges have done. You're in the mainstream of sentencing when it comes to child pornography cases. I also think it's ironic that the senator from Missouri, who unleashed this discredited attack, refuses to acknowledge
Josh Hawley, the senator from Missouri,
that his own choice for federal judge in the Eastern District of Missouri has done exactly what you did.
He is the Democratic whip.
You also have been criticized.
Oh, Hawley's upset.
Having been wrong to be a public defender or even to be in a law firm representing a Guantanamo detainee. It's interesting that Republican judges, very conservative ones, don't see this as a blemish on your character. They understand, as we do, that the Sixth Amendment creates a responsibility that people have a right to come.
She's told Blackburn off with her face and her mannerisms. Oh my God. There was one question, and I just looked over to see her response because, like, Marsha cuts her off and then, like, doesn't let her actually answer. And just the look on Brown's face, it was, mwah. And you might have seen that look. It's been going around on a meme. Like black families know that look, and it has like some sitcom moms and shit. Fucking Marsha Black. By the way, like, It was insulting to me to sit here knowing that Marsha Blackburn is a complete fucking idiot, was an image consultant, and she's all self-righteous on like a far more qualified woman. Man, it was burning me up.
Republican judges, very conservative ones, don't see this as a blemish on your character. They understand, as we do, that the Sixth Amendment creates a responsibility that people have a right to counsel. You have exercised that responsibility in your professional life. This, incidentally, yesterday, your nomination turned out to be a testing ground for conspiracy theories and culture war theories.
Full on QAnon.
Bizarre the charges against you and your family. The more I understand, the social media scoreboard lit up yesterday. I'm sorry that we have to go through this. These are not theories that are in the mainstream of America, but they have been presented here as such.
And I hated like seeing a lot of comments like, "Oh, I was abused as a child, so how can she be so lenient and blah blah blah. I hope the Republicans sink her." That really like upset, because like I'm not going to go and troll the fact that you were abused. I sympathize with that. But good Lord, how do these people buy the right-wing nonsense? This was from yesterday. We're gonna flash back in time to yesterday. I'm sorry. The cops step in after a frustrated Ted Cruz clashes with Montana airport staff.
I'm trying to figure out where they were announced on the plane, and the flight was there.
Cancun Karen. Now he was trying to fly back to DC for the hearings. Rep for the local airport told the Daily Mail that the annoyed senator had missed the check-in window for his flight to, did it say Boston? The crew said something along the lines of, "Don't you know who I am?" Didn't actually let us see the... I mean, you can't tell much from the video. Let's watch the unedited thing. See if we can hear what Cruz has to say here. Apparently the guard did not know that it was Ted Cruz until afterwards. Don't you know who I am? But thank God Ted Cruz didn't miss his flight, so that he was able to ask this fucking question of Ketanji Brown Jackson.
I'm an Hispanic man. Could I decide I was an Asian man? Would I have the ability to be an Asian man and challenge Harvard's discrimination because I made that decision?
Senator, I'm not able to answer your question. You're asking me about hypothetical.
Example, I'm an Hispanic man. Could I decide I was an Asian man? Would I have the ability to be an Asian man and challenge?
Thank God he didn't miss his flight, because where would we be without Senator Ted Cruz asking such an elucidating question? His father was some kind of Mexican or something, wasn't he? Some kind of Mexican. That sounds kind of racist. His father was Mexican or something to that effect, I believe. But Ted Cruz himself is indeed from Canada. Let's watch him throw a little temper tantrum.
Senator Coons.
You don't want her to answer that question?
Oh, Cuban.
Mr. Chairman,
My bad. I'm sorry. Thank you, RB.
I've asked her why she sentenced Stewart.
You've gone over the time, Senator, by 2 minutes.
Why because you've interrupted me for 2 minutes, Mr. Chairman. Will you allow her to answer the question, or do you not want the American people to hear why?
Spider Pickle, what's up?
Described as an egregious.
There comes a point, Senator, where you get a little bit.
Chairman Durbin, will you allow her to answer the question?
You won't allow her to answer.
I will happily allow her to. The question is
Senator
why
Coons,
you sentenced Stewart, an egregious child pornography possessor, to half of the amount requested by the prosecutor.
Please, Senator.
Will you allow her to answer the question, Chairman Durbin?
Senator Coons.
Why are you not allowing her to answer the question? There's not another senator here that you've not allowed her to answer the question. I'm not asking another question, but allow her to answer the question, Chairman Durbin.
Thank you, Chairman Durbin.
Why do you not want the American people to know what happened in the Stewart case or any of these cases? Chairman Durbin, I've never seen the chairman refuse to allow a witness to answer a question. You can bang it as loud as you want.
Well, I can just tell you, at some point you have to follow the rules.
She is too classy to bring up the incest porn, but in case you don't know what Dib is talking about, Ted Cruz actually tweeted out a picture. I believe it was a tweet. Might have been like an Instagram or something. Tweeted out a picture. I'm pretty sure it was Twitter. Tweeted out a picture of his computer he had taken, and he had a bunch of browsers open, and one of them was incest porn. Fucking Ted Cruz.
Rules.
Okay, will you let her answer the question?
Start craving.
You've been interrupting, and by the way, with Senator Graham, it went 10 minutes over. You've taken a big chunk of the time. Will you allow her to answer the question?
You've given her.
Why are you afraid of her?
So that is the reason why it was still going on right before I came on the stream. They all went over. He does indeed. He loves being cucked by Trump. That is his biggest kink.
She's welcome to answer it right now. Will you let her?
Senator Coons.
Will you let? So no, you don't want her to answer the question?
Senator Coons.
Will you let her answer the question?
Chairman Durbin.
Apparently, we're very afraid of the American people hearing the answer to that question.
We here in the Senate, in this committee today, are in the middle of a policy fight.
So there you have it, Ted Cruz. Let's hear from one senator from South Carolina, Mr. Lindsey Graham. If you're keeping track, this is his second. Oh, we're not even going to hear from him. This is going to be his second walkout.
We should be doing our job here, but part of our job we have failed in responding to the changing circumstances that face this crime. What has it been, 15 or 16 years?
Starcraven, the question was about why she had it was like half the time that the prosecutor had asked for is what she gave the defendant in a child porn case. Her rulings have been consistent with other rulings in the same cases. Republicans, Democrat alike. So, this is a nonsense argument that they're throwing out there. But they're trying to make it like she is incredibly lenient on people who possess child porn. So that they can then take that and say that she is lenient on sex offenders. That's exactly what they're wanting to do. Now, there was a question. It was about the Stewart was the defendant in the case. They were the ones that were caught in possession of child porn. Apparently, Brown had called it egregious. Cruz was quoting her own words. But I don't know what the actual sentence was. If the prosecutor was asking for fucking 50 years and Brown gave him 25 in a child porn case, it's probably one of those issues. But Dick Durbin is admonishing Lindsey Graham after he wrapped up his questioning.
What has it been, 15 or 16 years? She is currently not an outlier in sentencing. 70% of the federal judges face the same dilemma and wonder why Congress has failed to act and when it will act.
This is our fault?
Partially it is, Senator. To be honest with you, it is. We have to upgrade these guidelines and decide whether we're going to stick with the Supreme Court decision that they're not mandatory. Senator Feinstein.
Thank you.
And
very
there
much,
is your
Mr. Chairman.
walkout from Lindsey Graham.
I would like to compliment the witness.
And the fact of the matter is that I'm co-sponsor of your bill, the Earn It Act.
I like Brown watched him walk out too. Like her eyes shifted over. Like, oh, you walking out, what man? I'm glad. Let me bathe in Lindsey Graham's tears. Here is Senator Tom Cotton. He is going to talk about Guantanamo Bay detainees.
So no opinion on whether America would be safer or less safe if we were.
And if you guys, Brown once represented a detainee at Guantanamo Bay. Like, she was appointed to represent the detainee in a terrorism case, which is like admirable on her part, but also like I don't think she had a choice. Like, she was appointed by an agency to do it. Like, it wasn't like she volunteered to do it. That was the thing that kind of like shocked me. Like, I was like, oh shit, she volunteered to defend a Guantanamo Bay detainee. That's mad props. But no, she was just appointed. I guess they probably had like a lottery or something, and they just drew names. This person gets this person. This person gets this person. So that they have a lawyer. But like, that's admirable on her part for doing that. I love defense attorneys. Those are my favorite kind of attorneys.
So no opinion on whether America would be safer or less safe if we released all the detainees from Guantanamo Bay.
Senator, America would be less safe if we don't have terrorists out running around attacking this country. Absolutely. America would also be more safe in a situation in which all of our constitutional rights are protected. This is the way our scheme works. This is how the Constitution that we all love operates. It's about making sure
they don't give a shit about the Constitution.
Doing what it's supposed to do in a time of crisis. As Justice Gorsuch said, the Constitution is not suspended in times of crisis.
Man, she did it again. She keeps referencing the right-wing justices and saying, I agree with them. She had done Amy Coney Barrett and she had done Kavanaugh previously. Now she drops Gorsuch. She just did all three Trump-appointed justices. And apparently she had mentioned Thomas and how she agreed with Thomas multiple times as well. Yeah. He is fantastic. That's why, like, I'm going to do the fourth day of hearings tomorrow, just because, like, I want to watch her in action some more. I've been busy this week. I should have done all the other days. We should have gone all week on these confirmation hearings.
The government still has to follow the rules. And so criminal defense lawyers make sure that in times of crisis, the government is following the rules.
Okay, let's turn to the actual cases.
Now, to be fair, the rape, I love beer, devil's triangle, those confirmation hearings, that part of the confirmation hearing, that was like an addendum to the actual confirmation hearings. They called him back in for new hearings after they had already gone through this process. That's why it was a more contentious show. I remember that too. I was working as a install tech at that time, and I'm sitting in the shop like making wires and shit, and I'm watching that fucking hearing on my phone. I've got like the phone propped up and watching it, got my headphones in. I love this shit. I loved court. That was my favorite thing, was to go and sit in court. I'd go sit in court for hours when I was the news director. But also, like, I could only do it if, I didn't have anything else to do that day. Just go and sit in court. Go watch arraignments. Yeah, like, if I didn't have anything else to do, I'd go watch arraignments. Fun. This is Senator Cornyn bringing up the topic of abortion, which is a hot button topic with the Supreme Court.
What does viability mean when it comes to an unborn child, in your understanding?
Senator, I hesitate to speculate. I know that it is a point in time that the court has identified in terms of when the standards that apply to regulation of the right.
Justice Brennan, at a later point in his career on the Supreme Court, admitted that the viability line was an arbitrary line.
Of course it is, Cornyn.
Agree with him?
Senator, I'm not able to comment on viability. There's a case pending in the Supreme Court right now concerning the issues.
Dip, that's another thing. Like, all the right does is virtue signal. They want to wear their flags all over them. They want to say they believe in the Constitution. I stand for the unborn. I'm a patriot. I served my country. That kind of fucking bullshit. All it is virtue signaling.
I'm asking you about previous decisions, but I hear you. No one suggests that a 20-week-old fetus can live independently outside the mother's womb. Do they?
I don't know.
I mean, you need...
I believe it's happened a couple of times.
And all the other essentials to sustain human life.
I think like the earliest that's ever survived is like 17, 18 weeks or something like that.
Can live independently, correct?
Senator, I'm not.
But isn't it usually 22 weeks?
I don't know.
Or is that's just the delineation the court's made?
You don't know whether an unborn child could live outside the womb at 20 weeks gestation?
What I know is that the Supreme Court has tests and standards that it's applied when it evaluates regulation of the right of a woman to terminate their pregnancy. They have the court has announced that there is a right to terminate up to the point of viability, subject to the framework in Roe and Casey, and there's a pending.
I believe that's like, and the reason they chose that number is because like that's the average time. Beg the question, of course. All right, here is our last clip, and apparently this is one that has got the liberals all hard. Cory Booker giving
he
praise
just kept telling me,
to Jackson.
It's so good to see you here. It's so good to see you here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love my brother Tim Scott. We could write a dissertation on our disagreements. He gave the best speech on race. I wish I could have given good of a speech. But talking to the challenges and indignities that are still faced.
Exactly, Ida. Everything is fucking arbitrary.
I was in the White House with my Democratic colleagues, and I'm in my joy. I can't help it. and the president's asking our advice. Who should we nominate and whatever? And I look at Kamala, and we have a knowing glance, which we've had for years when she and I used to sit on this end of this committee at times. And then I try to get out to the president what it means. What it means. And I want to tell you when
Hi, comment. Welcome back.
I'm sorry, you're a person that is so much more than your race and gender. You're a Christian, you're a mom, you're an intellect, you love books. But for me, I'm sorry, it's hard for me not to look at you and not see my mom, not to see my cousins, one of them who had to come here and sit behind you. She had to have your back. I see my ancestors and yours. Nobody's going to steal the joy of that woman in the street or the calls that I'm getting or the texts. Nobody's going to steal that joy. You have earned this spot. You are worthy. You are a great American. Your hero is Constance Baker Motley. Mine, she has sat on my desk for my offices that I've held. She's my icon of America. Her name is Harriet Tubman. There is a love in this country that is extraordinary. You admitted it about your parents. They loved this nation, even though
I tend to believe that Cory Booker is cringe. However, I understand the moment, and I understand the gravity of the moment, and the emotion of the moment. And it absolutely is a huge fucking moment. Historic. The thing that rubs me the wrong way about Booker is like making it all about himself. Him talking about him and Kamala and I see my mom in you and everything. That whole shit. That's what's cringe to me. If you're gonna get up there and praise the woman, praise the woman. But I agree with the sentiment. Better every time. Alright, so now, this is the first time we've done this on here. I saw Miss Nina Turner post this, and I'm like, you know what? I agree. It is call-in day. I am going to encourage all of you to call your senators and demand that they confirm Judge Jackson. And I'm going to call my senator right now. But I'm assuming I'm going to get the voicemail. Who do we want to call first? Shelby or Tommy Tuberville? Let's go Tuberville. You guys want to call right now? Or you can listen to me call Tommy Tuberville. You know what? I'm going to call I'm not going to call the DC number. I'm going to call the Huntsville number. I'm going to call the local number. You know what? And you know what? I'm even going to switch to my other phone number so it's a local number and it's not the one that I use. Just to make sure. So if they see it on the caller ID, they know I'm his constituent. I mean it. Let me make sure I've got the audio set up right here.
Hi, this is Senator Tuberville's office. We're not able to answer the phone at this time. Please leave your name and number, and someone will give you a call back. Thank you.
My name is Justin Mullins. I am a constituent of Senator Tuberville. I live in Huntsville, Alabama. I am calling to encourage Tuberville to vote to confirm Biden's nominee for the Supreme Court, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic evening. There you go. State your name, where you live in their district. John Frackin. Fucking Frackin. Mine's Tuberville. Mine's Tuberville. Oh shit. All right, so that was my encouragement to you guys. I'll call Shelby tomorrow. I promise I will do it. Oh, to be fair about my YouTube subscription numbers, because like I'm perfectly honest with you guys. Yes, I have like 6.6 K subscribers on YouTube, but it's because I made a stupid fucking John Cena meme video, and that's where most of my subscribers have come from, not my political or my movies. I've gotten some subs off my movies, comedy skits and shit like that, but predominantly it's from the Bubble Guppies video. Oh, I'm sorry. Have you never been in here when I've talked about where I actually live? Oh God, sometimes Sparkles and I will venture out into the county. I saw an honest to God Nazi one time. It was scary. I don't want to go out no more. I live in a I'm overlooking the city. I'm up on a mountain, like the only mountain in Alabama. I'm giving way too much away about where I live. Overlooking there's a couple other mountains. I'm overlooking the city. I'm in a kind of bougie area. It's the historic district. The only reason I'm still here is because I really like this apartment. Like, where else am I going to find an apartment that allows 3 pets? 3 pets. Has washer and dryer hookup. I have my own washer and dryer. Has a washing machine. A dishwasher. I'd never had a dishwasher before. First time I've ever had a dishwasher in any apartment I've lived in. And I've got a screened-in back patio. Because that's the reason why I moved here, was because I let the cats go outside and shit and be out on the... And, like, my backyard is a national forest. They see all kinds of animals, squirrels, deer, all kinds of shit comes up. He doesn't clear his mailbox? Oh, Sky Comet. So, yes, having pets makes it hard. Because I've been looking at jobs in Atlanta. And that's just my worry, is finding a good place that allows pets. That's reasonably priced. Want a cat? You want a Smokey? Come Smokey. Hey, Smokey. He's very sleepy. He's still falling asleep. Sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to wake you up. I would love to go to Cat Island. I think he's a little indignant at me. He'll like turn his back on me. Like, ugh. I don't know where any of the other ones are. Got you some cat ass. Oh, shit. Don't ban me for that, Twitch. Exactly. It's like Republican senators don't want you to talk to them. I think there's a cat ass command. Maybe not. I thought Adam made a cat ass command. Maybe it's something else and it says cat ass when you do it. I don't know how the Twitch works. Vladimir Putin is on edge, apparently, as the Ukraine war has turned into a fiasco for the Russian military. Putin advisors are on edge as the Ukraine war devolves into a debacle for Russia. Andrei Soldatov said Russia's military failures had shown cracks within Russian leadership. It looks like everybody is on edge, the expert on Russia's military and security services said. They've said that multiple times here. Fighting in Ukraine entered its 3rd week. Reports this week revealed heavily laden military cargo jets are pouring into an airfield across the border, stacked with weapons and military equipment to help Ukraine's forces hold back the advance of Russian troops. Throughout the buildup to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, NATO countries, including the U.S., insisted they would not send troops to the region amid concern that the presence of their personnel on the ground would lead to a dangerous escalation of the conflict. By the way, this is something I want to talk about. This is from Alabama Representative Barry Moore's page. It was filled with these comments today. Hello, I'm from Ukraine. It's currently a living hell. Children and civilians are killed by Russian invaders. Our home schools and hospitals are being demolished by them. To put a stop to it, we need your aid. Please contact your government and President Biden to request that our sky be protected. Air defenses are required. This is the only way to prevent thousands of civilians from dying and a beautiful country from being destroyed. Ukraine's salvation is within your grasp. And they're all like that, just slight variations. Because here's another one. Dear Barry Moore, I'm from Ukraine, where life is currently a living hell. The first one, and it's currently a living hell. This one is where life is a living hell. Russian invaders assassinate civilians and children. They wreak havoc on our homes, schools, and hospitals. We'll need your help to put a stop to it. Please call your government and Vice President Biden to ask for the protection of our airspace. It is necessary to install our defense systems. You have the power to aid Ukraine. They might have said bombs and bombed in different ones, because every one of them was just slightly different, but they all said the same thing. So I'm wondering, is this Russian bots trying to goad us into war? Is this the CIA doing the bidding of defense contractors to try to ramp up and escalate? Is it really a Ukrainian farm? That is true, because the aim of Zelensky is indeed to institute a no-fly zone. The U.S. has wisely decided against that because it would escalate the conflict. There has been a lot of instances of them not letting people of color leave. This is the first I'm hearing of not letting trans people leave. That's really disheartening. But now, as I've said from the beginning, I want to caution the liberals out of making a hero of Zelensky and lionizing him the way they have. History is littered with examples of people that came to power during moments of peril, riding popular movements, and just become brutal fucking dictators themselves. And Zelensky, rode a wave of popular support to the presidency, but had been seen as a failed president about a year in. And there were allegations of corruption. It seemed like he had kind of turned towards an authoritarian crackdown already. So the idea of this happening, and then the West making him into some kind of fucking heroic figure, just really worries me. The stance about not getting the U.S. involved in the conflict has continued since Moscow ordered its troops into Ukraine on the morning of February 24th. Instead, NATO nations and other countries are supplying Ukraine's defense forces, vastly outgunned and outnumbered by Russia's military, with weapons and equipment that Kyiv hopes will be able to help staunch Russia's advance. Around 17,000 anti-armor weapons have been sent to Ukraine in the last number of weeks and are being pressed into use against Russian tanks and other hardware. As of March 8th, Ukrainian fighters had destroyed over 1,000 armored personnel carriers, 303 tanks, 120 artillery systems, and 80 helicopters. Apparently, there's been over 1,000 Russian deaths, and even Russia is admitting that now. Originally, they weren't. While here in the U.S., we have declared what Russia has done a war crime. I guess officially now, because Biden had kind of said it like just in jest, but now it's like an official statement from, is this the Pentagon or the State Department? It just says the U.S. government. I think this is the Pentagon setup behind her.
Expressed his view that some of Russians' reported attacks did in fact constitute war crimes. He emphasized that the Department of State and other U.S. departments will be documenting and assessing.
Guy Comet called their senator.
Reports. The assessment has now concluded with a careful
senators.
Currently available.
You got two of them,
both public and from intelligence sources. This review underpins the assessment that the Secretary announced today, that Russian forces are indeed committing war crimes in Ukraine. I want to reiterate our solidarity for the people of Ukraine. We are committed to pursuing full accountability for war crimes in Ukraine using all of the tools that are available to us, including criminal prosecutions. As the Secretary said, those who are responsible for such abuses must be held accountable. So I think it's incredibly important to shed a light on what's happening within Ukraine so that the
I'm not sure the clip you're talking about, Dip. We watched him with Stuart Varney on Monday night, and that was pretty batshit.
People of Ukraine understand that the world knows what they are suffering and that they're doing.
I might have a
suffering
seed.
At the hands of an aggressive war that was launched unprovoked by Russia.
No,
it's
I
also
don't
extremely
want no
important to
seed.
continue to document what's happening on the ground to preserve that.
Seed is a thing that
information
can't
has
get no
potential
love
evidence for
from
future
me.
accountability purposes. We don't want to lose that evidence. We don't want that evidence to be tampered with. So it's extremely important that it be collected now and preserved with an eye towards future accountability.
How do you determine?
Hold on a second. I can't see shit. Usually doesn't take that long. Didn't say talk back to me. I would like to plant some. I'm tired of buying it. I would like to be somewhere where I could grow some. What color do you guys want the lights? Pick a color for me. Okay. I've thought about the closet grow thing. Hey Google, turn living room lights violet. I'm sorry, Dip. When I turn them piss yellow, they actually look white. It just looks like regular lighting in here. It's weird. Like it looks piss yellow to me in here. But on camera, it comes across as just regular light. It is just the weirdest thing. There is a piss yellow. There is a ugly ass color green. You can make, if you really want to go into the app, you can make it fucking any color on the wheel and you can adjust it yourself. As for Google though, it's just like Google controlling all the different lights. Yeah. I'd have to do green in order to make it yellow on the... See, I don't know a lot about color theory. That wasn't my thing. And I also did the... when I stayed an extra year in college, I actually took classes over in the digital media department. And one of them was like visual thinking. Because I was like, oh, this will really fucking help me out. Because I'm really weak in this. And I didn't retain shit from that class. I hate that too. I had a really good professor. The thing about growing out here, I actually have a great closet out on my patio, and it's very spacious, and it has shelves in it already. It has a light. It has power in it. Everything is perfect. And I'm back here. I'm in the back of my apartment complex. Rarely is there anybody back here. I would have to have a fan that blew out like under the door or something. I have to rig something up. But my thought process, like, I cook, right? I cook everything from scratch, and I've always wanted to do an herb garden. So I thought maybe I could get an herb garden growing. That explains why I've got the lights out there. Explains why I got the fans and everything. And the herb smell would help cover up or mask the herb smell. The other herb smell. I mean, can't color balance their stream. Oh, shit. I think I'm pretty good with color grading. I had a client who, like, it was a dentist office video. He said, like, I corrected it and made it look like natural lighting, right? And you bumped up the contrast a little bit more saturation, made it pop. Nothing major. He sends it back to me. He's like, can you put a color grade on it? I'm like, it's a dentist office. What the fuck do you want? So I just went to my cinematic, like, presets, because I got, like, a pack I purchased of, like, different presets, and I was just like, you pick out one of these, like, film, I think gold is what a gold film, blah, 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 like, I popped that on there, and kind of bumped down the intensity on it a little bit, sent it back to me, loved it. I was like, alright, cool. Exactly. Good luck with covering that smell. That's the issue. But luckily, I'm back here in, like, the woods are right here next to me. There's, like, I don't really have neighbors that. Now, if I get a neighbor over here and they've got a dog, they'll walk their dog right beside that closet. That would be the issue. Man, do I hate it when I've got a neighbor over there that has a dog. And my neighbor that was living there just moved out. I'm going to have a new neighbor again. It's weird. I've lived, like, in this apartment for 7 years. I've had 10 different neighbors over there, it seems. You can do, like, 3 months, 6 months, a year leases over here. Like, there was this, like, mother and daughter that lived over there, and I went over there, and, like, it was about this time one year, and I'm like, hey, do you guys want to build if I build a flower bed and put the soil and everything, because we have wildlife, I'll have to build, like, fencing around it and everything. You guys want to do a garden, like, we help upkeep it if I build everything. They're like, honey, we're moving out. Like, I was like, you've only been there like 3 months. Like, yeah, we were just staying here until our house got remodeled. I'm like, oh, guys, I liked you guys. You didn't give me any problems. Ted Cruz be roaming. Here is a fantastic clip I have for you. You guys are going to enjoy this. This is Ukrainian activists. This gigantic ass yacht you see back here belongs to a Russian oligarch, apparently. Block oligarch's yacht as it arrives in sanctions-free Turkey.
Go away, Russian ship! Go away!
Telling it to go away. It's like, it's hard to comprehend just how massive one of those motherfuckers is. There should not be people rich enough to own something like that. That's not a yacht, that's a mega yacht.
Go away, Russian ship! Go away!
Yes, you should grow if you're allowed 6 foot. See, like me growing, like I'm taking a little chance. Loud 6 plants, fuck yeah, grow. We do have an update, luckily, on Brittany Griner, the WNBA basketball player that has been imprisoned in Russia. I'm not exactly sure how long she's been imprisoned. Apparently, the footage from the airport was from February, but the story we had read last night, or no, on Monday, Said she may have been in prison for like 3 months. What, they come bigger than the one we were just looking at? That motherfucker was huge. It was the size of fucking Rhode Island. I know Bezos has a yacht where like there's like many yachts can like go up inside the yacht. That's fucking crazy. U.S. Embassy in Moscow says Brittany Griner is in good condition. So fucking thankfully, thank God. She has awesome taste. I saw somebody say that she might be quite possibly one of the greatest women's basketball players of all time. That she could beat many men that are playing today, but I don't know anything about sports. So I don't know if that's true or not, or just somebody being hyperbolic because of the situation. But apparently she is indeed a superstar. State Department spokesperson Ned Price said Wednesday that an official from the U.S. Embassy in Moscow found WNBA star Brittany Griner in good condition after they were granted consular access. We're able to check on her condition. We will continue to work very closely with her legal team, with her broader network, to see to it that she is treated fairly. Embassy official was granted consular access to Griner on Tuesday. Our official found Brittany Griner to be in good condition. U.S. Embassy will press for a consistent and timely consular access to Griner and other U.S. citizen detainees. Agents detained Griner after allegedly finding cannabis oil in her luggage and accused the WNBA star of smuggling significant amounts of narcotic substance. Unfortunately, this story doesn't go into it. So I'm hoping the U.S. can fucking do something and that Russia isn't going to use this young lady as a pawn. Griner is facing 5 years. 5 years in a Russian labor camp. What an expert told Fox News. Now, once again, it's a Fox News expert. The 31-year-old Phoenix Mercury basketball star was arrested in Russia last month. Russian law expert Peter Maggs of the University of Illinois College of Law is predicting her pending legal case could result in a 5 to 10 year prison sentence, which could also include time spent at a labor camp. Mercedes Schlapp. God damn. We do have a video. But it's also Mercedes Schlapp. And like fucking Fox News never wants to play for me. I think it's because of my ad blockers I've got. Law professor also speculated that Griner could be completely innocent, as Russian authorities are known to plant drugs on people to arrest them under false pretenses. I'm thinking it was just a fucking vape cartridge or some shit. That's probably all she had on them, and they called it cannabis oil. They don't even have to plant anything on her. Moving from Russia to Belarus, where a January 6th Capitol riot suspect was just granted refugee status. Wasn't expecting that one, were you? You weren't expecting that one. It was a good transition. Evan Newman is under federal indictment in the U.S. for more than a dozen charges related to last year's Capitol insurrection. But Belarus, a Russian ally and neighbor to Ukraine, has granted him asylum, saying he is under its protection indefinitely. I am very grateful, and it is bittersweet, like eating cranberries, Newman said in a video. Oh, fuck, we've got a video. Well, shit. You know we gotta watch that.
This is your document. Please sign. Here. Теперь вы полностью находитесь под защитой Республики Беларусь.
Спасибо большое. Спасибо на Республику Беларусь.
В августе месяц этот гражданин незаконно пересек государственную границу с Республикой Беларусь. Он с территории Украины прибыл к нам, сказал, что его начали преследовать. Он заметил за собой слежку.
He noticed he was being tailed and he feared for his life.
Пересечь границу и оказаться...
Cross the border into Belarus.
Поэтому он взял карту, взял свой рюкзак.
Like a map, a little rucksack.
Получается, в районе ответственности Пенского пограничного отряда перешел государственную границу, где был задержан сразу военнослужащий.
He was detained by military personnel.
Он сразу военнослужащему объяснил, почему он это делает, и обратился с соответствующим ходатайством. Вот сейчас решение
Oh, I wouldn't have to order him.
Ему предоставлен соответствующий статус, и этот статус будет действовать до того момента, пока вот те обстоятельства, в связи с которыми этот статус был ему предоставлен.
I would take them from the stuff I smoke, because it is.
Свое действие. То есть он бессрочно фактически ему на сегодня.
You know when cousin Eddie was like, "Get you something real good, Clark, or real nice." I got some real nice.
Сегодняшний день предоставлен.
Belarus is very nice.
Беларусь очень хорошее место.
And I feel safe in Belarus, especially compared to my compatriots.
That doesn't seem like a hostage video at all. I feel safe in Belarus.
In America, there have been.
Oh shit. Okay, cool. I will look into that, dude.
Killed themselves.
Он чувствует себя здесь в безопасности в Республике Беларусь. Тем более, что есть, скажем так, 6 примеров, про которые он говорит, там, где люди сами покончили со собой. А здесь он чувствует себя в безопасности.
Does he speak? What do they speak in Belarus? Slovenian?
Какие испытываете эмоции от того, что вы получили защиту Республики Беларусь?
I'm very grateful, and it is bittersweet, like eating klukva. So very happy and very sad at the same time.
Belarusian and Russian.
Ощущения, они и горькие одновременно, и сладкие. Это все равно как есть клюкву. То есть он и рад, и одновременно расстроен. Рад, потому что Республика Беларусь проявила о нем соответствующую заботу, но и расстроен, потому что он вынужден был, ну, скажем так, оказаться в такой ситуации, где в своей стране у него получились проблемы.
Вы уже полгода в Беларуси. Расскажите, пожалуйста, какие
Belarusian.
вы на будущее себе намечаете?
Right now, my plans are to stay in Brest. I have.
No way! Is that really the way it's pronounced? Belarusian?
Started a life here. I would like to, now that I have a document, I would like to travel to Minsk. I have not seen that yet.
I don't blame you. I like to go to Minsk.
See what else there is. I have not been able to travel, so I would like to see around other parts of Belarus.
Он планирует некоторое время оставаться в Бресте,
Wait, does the country, what does Bela mean in their language? What, like, is it like sub-Russia or some shit? Is that the name of the country? Oh, you're saying the language. But it, like, was I wrong when I said Belarusian? Like referring to people of the country? Is the language a mix of all this? Is everything's Belarusian, isn't it? I've got. What does the root word mean? It means, in Old Hungarian, it means the intestines. In modern Hungarian, it means the guts. The guts of Russia. That's awesome. I never even put the, I just thought Belarus was a cool name. I didn't even like the RUS. I didn't even take that as like being connected to Russia. That's cool. I like learning shit on this show. I like you guys so much. Great community. All right, so we talked about my senator earlier. Let's talk about my congressman now. Bo Brooks says Trump asked him to immediately remove Biden from office and illegally hold a new presidential election. The Republican Representative Mo Brooks of Alabama said on Wednesday that former President Donald Trump pressed him to illegally remove President Joe Biden from office and hold a new presidential election, moves that are both unconstitutional. President Trump asked me to rescind the 2020 elections, immediately remove Joe Biden from the White House, immediately put President Trump back in the White House, and hold a new special election for the presidency, Brooks said in a statement responding to Trump's withdrawal. 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 Fuck! His withdrawal. I might not be... Not because I don't know what it means, because I can't fucking pronounce it right. And I thought I could pronounce it. Ah. Fuck, it's a hyperlink. Withdrawal. 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 Withdraw. Oh, shit. Fuck it. I'm moving on. In a statement on Wednesday, Trump said Brooks had gone woke. When your drawl prevents you from saying withdrawal. It is. It's my southern drawl. Oh, and that's what, you know what's weird is people have asked me all my life where I'm from. I lived in Kentucky, when I lived in Tennessee, when I lived in because I mean, especially like in Alabama, like my accent is a weird mishmash of, you know, this is the deep South. I'm from Appalachia. It's a completely different South. Holy shit, is it a completely different kind of South? Like, I'm from the South, but no, this is the South. There's a difference between the Deep South and Appalachia. People ask me where I'm from all the time, and it's really weird. Like, even when I lived in Pikeville, where are you from? From here. I live here. Guy Comet, thank you for the resub. I would imagine Montgomery and Chattanooga are completely different worlds. Montgomery is in the southern part of southeast Tennessee. Montgomery is in southwest Alabama. Not all the way south, though. It's like a fourth of the way up. Geography with Freakin, which don't ever listen to me on geography. Don't ever listen to me on geography because Sparkles will tell you. I can't do the Kentucky accent. I can't do. But also, you gotta like. I was in theater when I was a kid, and like one summer when I was in like the professional gig doing theater, like I had to sit down, listen to like a phonics fucking tape, a tape cassette. This is when I was 5th grade or 6th grade, maybe. And I had to do like, because they really wanted me to enunciate. They wanted me to, because I was in On Golden Pond, and it's set in like the Northeast. I think Northeast. I played Billy in On Golden Pond. I'm not trying to live like this was when I was a kid. I was in theater. They made me lose my accent. Hold on, I might have pictures from when I did that. Oh, no, here we go. Yeah. Look at how cute I was. So I had to have like like a Hooked on Phonics type cassette. Or like I had to sit there and enunciate properly. I have a bit of the Southern drawl just because like I let it slip through. I've gotten very lax about diction, you know, and then I was on the radio for all those years, and my God, even like, because I had a whole argument with my program director. If you're not from Appalachia, you might not know what a holler is. It's like a hollow, but it's specific to Appalachia. It's the space between, like, two mountains. Like, you go up a holler. No. You go up a holler. It's, like, off the main road, and you go up this little dirt road up a holler. Like Sleepy Hollow, but it's a holler. And there was a place called Pike Floyd Holler. And like we were like, there was a wreck at Pike Floyd Holler or something like that one day, and I called it Pike Floyd Holler because that's what everybody in the community called it, Pike Floyd Holler, because it was on the Pike County Floyd County line. And I had like a knockout, drag out fight with my program director, like, you say it holler, or I mean, you say it hollow. You pronounce your words. You're not, you know, you gotta have the standard Midwestern accent, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but that's what the locals call it. Saying Pike Floyd Hollow sounds fucking stupid. Yeah, the cozy space between two mountains. You've got a different kind of, you got different kinds of hollers. You can have creeks. I grew up on a creek. I grew up on Hurricane Creek. Once again, that's another example. I grew up on Hurricane Creek. That is not Hurricane Creek, though that is the way it is spelled. Because not a soul on Hurricane Creek calls it Hurricane Creek. So the name of the creek is Hurricane Creek. Like, that is literally the name of the place. But I had this argument with my program director over that. I got a picture with him somewhere. There we go. That was we had a freak show come to town, and they were on the morning show one morning. Man, I had such a crush on her. I thought she was flirting with me in the studio. Like, I talked to her at the show, like she was not interested. That was my program director, Randy Jones. That was the half man. He swallowed swords. This dude ate light bulbs. She was the burlesque lady. What is Till? I don't know what you're talking about. Norfolk. Yes, it's Norfolk. I say it Norfolk because I can't fucking. Yeah, fun times. I don't even remember what we were talking about. Go back to the news. Oh, yeah. Mo Brooks went woke. Trump wanted him to overturn the election. What's fucking new? But I just want to point out the article hasn't said it yet. But this happened in September. I read that earlier. This happened in Mo Brooks said this happened in September. So Donald Trump called a congressperson in September, just a few months ago, asking them to overturn the election after Biden had been president for months. To overturn the election and hold a new one. Still. Brooks said Trump withdrew his endorsement in part because of these disagreements. The congressman was once the frontrunner in the GOP contest to replace Senator Richard Shelby, but has fallen behind in polls and struggled to raise money. By all accounts, Trump does not like endorsing losing candidates. Right-wingers are... Oh, shit. Hit the wrong one. Right-wingers are morons. Amen. Told President Trump the truth, knowing full well that it might cause President Trump to rescind his endorsement, Brooks said, but I took a sworn oath to defend and protect the U.S. Constitution. I honor my oath. That is the way I am. I break my sworn oath for no man. No. I'm pretty sure if you could have successfully prevented Trump from being able to leave office on January 6th, I believe you would have done it. I don't think you are a man of principle, Mo Brooks. Not high enough for this shit. Oklahoma Republicans, I'm definitely not high enough for this shit. Oklahoma Republicans advance a near total abortion ban modeled after the Texas law. Oklahoma is one step closer to copying a restrictive anti-abortion law implemented in Texas, but legislation advanced Tuesday by the Oklahoma House is even more restrictive than the law adopted in Texas that has forced hundreds, if not thousands, of women to seek abortions in neighboring states. Republican House legislators passed House Bill 4327 that would effectively ban most abortions by allowing private citizens to sue anyone who performs an abortion or aids or abets someone who pursues the procedure. Texas is wanting to amend the law to be able to sue anyone who leaves the state to get the procedure. Representative Wendy Stearman, a representative from Collinsville, said her bill was written by a former Texas Solicitor General who closely copied Texas's Senate Bill 8. I'm assuming it was written by Alec. Well, let me get their acronym right. American Legislative American Legislative Exchange Council. I assume it was written by them. That is a hard right think tank group that writes all the shitty ass laws. Whenever there's a law that's passing all the states during the state house sessions, it was written by Alec. Don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee. As I understand it, Merle was mocking the conservatives with that song. I might be wrong. Merle was a pretty cool guy. Representative Wendy Stearman. Oh, I already read that part. However, HB 4327 would block nearly all abortions because it starts immediately after conception, whereas the Texas law prohibits most abortions after a fetal heartbeat is detected, which typically occurs around 6 weeks into pregnancy. As I said, the laws are popping up all over the United States. Here is Idaho. They are preparing to ban most abortions in the state as governor signs a Texas-style law. Patient who gets an abortion or the person who impregnated her and specific members of their family. So this allows rapists to sue their victims. Could sue abortion providers in Idaho for tens of thousands of dollars in damages under a new law signed by Governor Brad Little on Wednesday. Law which bans most abortions after about 6 weeks of pregnancy is modeled after a similar Texas law, SB 8, which allows anyone to bring lawsuits against healthcare providers or anyone else accused of helping provide such abortions. So if an organization drives you to an abortion, you can be sued. Fuck all the way off. Idaho legislation known as SB 1309 narrows the field of potential plaintiffs to biological relatives defined as a female upon whom an abortion has been attempted or performed, the father of the preborn child, a grandparent of the preborn child, a sibling of the preborn child, or an aunt or uncle of the preborn child. Penalties for abortion providers start at $20,000 per violation. You may have a chance to work on an abortion underground railroad. Unfortunately, I'm very saddened to say that, Curiouser. Cara Sanders, a law professor at the University of Idaho, says that provision could provoke lawsuits that would quickly make it impossible for healthcare providers to continue offering the procedure. Even if they couldn't win, even if the law gets struck down, just the threat of the lawsuits at this moment has a chilling effect on providers. And if there are 10 siblings and parents, all those people can sue you, and they can all get 20 grand. You can see how one lawsuit could pretty much wipe out an entire clinic. I don't even want to think about that. That makes me sad. Back alley, coat hanger procedures. I don't know what the answer is. And the secession argument, that comes up a lot. But we're in a weird place. Like, I'm in a solid red state right now, but I'm in a pretty cool city. If our congressional district had the entire city inside of it, instead of a gerrymandered district, which also includes like a far out portion of a backwoods county, we may stand a shot at electing a Democrat here in this district. Like, my area is not bad. That's the problem with these red states, is like there's pockets of just of blue areas, and we're urban versus rural at this moment. And I keep getting these arguments with the right wingers, and they're like, "Oh, well, the Democrats aren't going to know what to do when the farmers quit providing them with food." I'm like, every farmer I know is a communist. What are you talking about? Fuck off. I mean, every farmer I know, which that means, they don't have fucking big ass factory farms and shit. I don't hobnob around rich people. All right. All these shitty laws popping up, but here's one of those feel-good stories for you guys. Amazingly, in all of this. Unfortunately, the Congress might be able to, the legislature might be able to override the governor. Utah governor vetoes a transgender sports ban. Utah Governor Spencer Cox on Tuesday vetoed a bill banning transgender children from playing school sports, noting in a letter explaining his veto that rarely has so much fear and anger been directed at so few. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Here, I have the letter. Has to read it. Starts off with some statistics. This is a right-winger coming armed with statistics. 75,000 high school kids participating in high school sports in Utah. 4 transgender kids playing high school sports in Utah. 1 transgender student playing girls' sports. 86% of trans youth reporting suicidality. I've never seen it written that way. I've always heard it as like suicidal ideation. But suicidality. Also my southern accent fucked me up on saying. 56% of trans youth having attempted suicide. 4 kids and only 1 of them playing girls' sports. That's what all this is about. 4 kids who aren't dominating or winning trophies or taking scholarships. 4 kids who are just trying to find some friends and feel like they are a part of something. 4 kids trying to get through each day. Rarely has so much fear and anger been directed at so few. I don't understand what they are going through or why they feel the way they do, but I want them to live. And all the research shows that even a little acceptance and connection can reduce suicidality significantly. For that reason, as much as any other, I have taken this action in the hope that we can continue to work together and find a better way. If a veto override occurs, I hope we can work to find ways to show these 4 kids that we love them and that they have a place in our state. I recognize the political realities of my decision. Politically, it would be much easier and better for me to simply sign the bill. I've always tried to do what I feel is the right thing, regardless of the consequences. Sometimes I don't get it right, and I do not fault those who disagree with me. But even if you disagree with me, I hope this letter helps you understand the reasons for my decision. Sincerely, Spencer J. Cox. That is the rare Republican with an actual backbone with a fucking brain. Thank you, Governor Cox. I greatly appreciate it. Cox is the second Republican governor this week, after Indiana's Eric Holcomb, to veto legislation that would have banned trans youth from participating in school sports, making them outliers, as 11 Republican governors have signed similar bills into law in recent years. Cox has called a special session in anticipation the legislator will override his veto to figure out next steps on the bill. Meanwhile, when it comes to shithead governors, I think the award goes to the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. Apparently, it is taking it upon himself to declare that Leah Thomas didn't actually win in what was it, the 500 meter at the NCAA championship swim meet. Republican Florida Governor Ron DeSantis jumped into the conversation about a transgender swimmer who won a collegiate title by declaring the runner-up the real winner. DeSantis signed a proclamation Tuesday declaring Florida-born Emma Wyant as the winner of the women's 500 yard. Oh, it is the 500 yard. It's the 457 meter. This is instead of transgender athlete Leah Thomas, a University of Pennsylvania senior. DeSantis, whose proclamation has no effect on the tournament outcome, is using the document in fundraising messages for his re-election campaign. Southern Florida's pretty cool, Dip. Down there in Tampa, Miami and shit. It's the rest of that goddamn state. Orlando, that's debatable. Orlando's weird. If you like touristy places, you might like Orlando. There's some fun to be had in Orlando. But if you're not into commercialization, you're probably not going to have fun in Orlando. That's the best way I can put it. As for the rest of the state, you can just throw it out. Throw it the fuck out. Who cares? Tallahassee, flush it. Flush it. Especially when you get up there in that fucking swamp country and the panhandle and shit. Fuck. Yeah. Like, fucking the south part of Florida isn't like the rest of the South. It's its own fucking culture. Further up north you get into Florida, the more you get like the rest of the South. Weird. I had an uncle who lived in Florida. Still lives in Florida. If he's still alive, I don't know. I don't know if he's still alive. I think he's actually my great uncle. I don't even, I always call him Uncle Bob. I think he's my great uncle. A content warning, especially for anybody in the trans community that may be watching. We're gonna go to Gutfeld, and I have no clue what the fuck he's gonna say, and it's probably gonna be like really incendiary. Because he's a gigantic piece of shit. Gutfeld's monologue from last night, and I'm assuming it's going to be about Leah Thomas.
You're here. Welcome to the show. I'm Bruce Jenner. I kid, but since Caitlyn isn't using it, I figure why not? It's like a box seat at a ball game. If it's empty, might as well move in from the cheap sheets.
First of all, as somebody who actually enjoys shit, no. I'm not going to the box seat. I want to be as close. First of all, what are we watching? Is it a concert? I want to be as close as possible. I want to go up to the box. I ain't going to enjoy it in the box. Might as well fucking bought the DVD or fucking Blu-ray of the concert. Fuck. Fucking bougie ass Gutfeld over here. I want to go sit in the box so I can be away from the plebes.
Anyway, but in all seriousness, you got to hand it to Caitlyn. Because it took balls the size of weather balloons to criticize media darling and trans swimmer Leah Thomas, saying biological boys should not compete against biological girls. Jenner may not be on the cover of Wheaties anymore, but she should be the...
Caitlyn, after your failed bid for governor and the way they treated you, how the fuck are you still carrying water for the right? What is wrong with you, girl? Are you stupid?
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
They treated you horribly in California during the governor's race.
Spokesperson for Planters, because she's got some major nuts on her. By the way, Wheaties is the worst tasting cereal ever. It makes Count Chocula taste like a $60 steak. I think that's why they put athletes on the box, because no fat person would dare.
I'm not sure if I've ever eaten Wheaties. Now watch Sparkles show up and be like, "You've had Wheaties with me, motherfucker."
Eat it. Now, Jenner says she has no beef with Thomas, but felt the NCAA wasn't tough enough in allowing Thomas to compete in women's races. And she's right. Thomas just beat a bunch of biological girls in the 500-meter whatever. Honestly, I don't follow it. Swimming is for people too lazy to bathe after exercising. Sorry, Trace. But in this controversy of letting biological males beat biological females, there has to be a...
Yeah, I had like a 2-hour long debate with this dude yesterday. And, like I broke down, like, when did you take an interest in women's swimming exactly? He's got all these fucking time breakdowns and shit. I'm like, when did you take an interest in this?
Insane position to take. First, I don't think a dude chooses to switch genders in order to beat girls in a sport that, before he sucked at. Because cheating with steroids...
And that is a common misnomer. And that's the same thing that asshole I was arguing with yesterday kept saying, that pre-transition, Leah was ranked like 530-something. And I'm like, yes, she was a freshman. Usually, and I could not get this through the dude's skull. Yes, usually you start off ranked pretty fucking low, and by the time you get to your senior year, you would be ranked high. She pre-transition was also ranked like 32nd in a different event. She was always a top-tier athlete. Her pre-transition time was 10 seconds off of the male record. Her post-transition time is 10 seconds off of the female record. She was always an elite athlete. So this notion that she sucked and she switched genders just to have an advantage is fucking stupid. And when I brought up the discrepancy in times to this dude, he said, "Yeah, she's throwing races purposely so that she can win this one." I'm like, you have no evidence of that. That's stupid. So then he shows me where a researcher, and this was actual research, I appreciated this, he screenshotted a part of it and posted it in the thing. And I'm like, it's cherry picking something here. Because he kept telling me like, "Oh, this is research. I was like, well, please link me to the research. He never did, but he finally told me the author, and it was a trans athlete who now advises the NCAA and the Olympic Committee on matters like this. She didn't agree with him at all, but she was taking he took one little quote out of that research that retain body mass or some shit like that. But the entire article, taken as a whole, said no, they have no disadvantage, or they have no inherent advantage. Everything kind of evens out. It was the weirdest fucking thing. So he's like showing me the times. He's like, all right, so post transition, she should have been 7 to 14 seconds slower, or 7 to 14% slower. And I agree, because he showed me the research to back that up. She should have been 7 to 14% slower. Instead, she was 7% slower in one and 2% slower in another. 2% slower in the 500, which she won. To which I pointed out there's a lurking variable in the data there. You're comparing her times pre-transition, which was 4 or 5 years ago. This is an elite athlete who has made gains over the last 4 or 5 years. So you have to subtract the gains they would have made and shaved off their time anyway in the 4 years from the post-transition times. So given that, 2% seems incredibly reasonable. But hey, what do I know? And dude fucking did not know what I was talking about. Did not fucking understand, just like all right-wingers, did not fucking understand statistical analysis.
Just much easier. But remember, as a dude, Thomas was ranked at 462, one spot ahead of her rusty anchor. And now as a chick, she's number one. She should be the spokesperson for chlorine, strong enough for a man, but made for a woman. But I wonder if the
chlorine
to her, or does she try to ignore it?
I try to ignore it as much as I can. I try to focus on my swimming, what I need to do to get ready for my races, and just try to block out everything else.
Good on you, Leah.
That's weirdly selfish. It's like me putting on a dress and doing The View and acting like it's no big deal. The sad thing is, I'd still be the hottest. But I'd also...
My God!
It's The View. They need tech support to count to 10. But it's not about switching genders at all. That's just a distraction. I doubt winning swim meets is the reason anyone would change their sex. Swimming is hard enough. I won't go near a kiddie pool unless there's a lifeguard on duty. But it's about what you do after switching genders. It's common sense. You might even call it common courtesy. Perhaps what Thomas is doing...
What the fuck do you know about switching genders? Who the fuck made you an arbiter of what you're supposed to do after you switch genders? The fuck are you talking about? Who the fuck are you, Gutfeld?
Is a byproduct of masculine selfishness. Like eating the entire pizza you were supposed to save for your spouse when she got home from work. That's the striking part. A dude becomes a man and then kicks the crap out of girls at a sport. It's just piggish. I mean, not many women are becoming men and doing the same thing. Or if they do, they lose more often than Hillary Clinton. So the more Thomas wins as a chick, the more...
I just enjoyed the Hillary joke, sorry. I think...
see that even if your bangs...
Is that the first time Gutfeld cracked me? Is that the first time Gutfeld cracked me? The Hillary joke got me. It was only like a little... but like still, Gutfeld got me there.
That's the striking part. A dude becomes a man and then kicks the crap out of girls at a sport. It's just piggish.
A dude becomes a man.
Women are becoming men and doing the same thing. Or if they do, they lose more often than Hillary Clinton. So the more Thomas wins...
Dude, you'll be a man soon.
As a chick, the more of a chauvinist she appears to be. I mean, you should see that even if your bangs are in your eyes. No one is saying it's wrong for you to pursue the sport you love, but when you have a clear advantage and for some reason you don't care, it's disrespectful and it's narcissistic. But by sticking up for women, Jenner shows the respect she has for the fairer sex, which seems...
Now, does Gutfeld do a whole monologue about, let's say, Tom Brady? Or Brett Favre? You know, the talented quarterbacks that are also right-wingers that are fucking full of themselves. Are you calling them narcissistic? There is an air of misogyny here. There's transphobia. Gutfeld's got it all.
Missing with Leah as she happily destroys the competition.
I mean, misogyny is like the fucking calling card of this show, though.
While they desperately cling to the untenable woke position. An NBC op-ed actually compared Thomas to Jackie Robinson.
That's a good comparison.
Weird. They don't look at all alike. Except maybe in size and muscle mass.
Oh, God.
Rika Giorgi, not sure if I got that right, a Virginia Tech swimmer.
Yes, she supports Leah.
NCAA rules allowing transgendered women to compete against biological females. After she missed the cutoff for the consolation final in the 500.
She said she supports Leah. There are fake tweets from her going around.
In a letter, she claimed their rules are harmful to biological females and that every event transgendered athletes competed in was one spot taken away from biological females, herself included. You know, it's almost as though biological women should have their own league so they aren't crushed by biological men. That's crazy. Ron DeSantis, isn't he the commissioner of swimming or something? Is also pretty ticked off.
Now, the NCAA...
Who gives a shit if Ron DeSantis is ticked off?
...destroy women's athletics. They're trying...
These are the people that talk about entitlement. They talk about participation trophies. They call other people sore losers. Jesus fucking Christ. Fuck these people.
Trying to undermine the integrity of the competition, and they're crowning somebody else the woman's champion. And we think that's wrong.
So he issued a proclamation declaring the second place finisher, Floridian Emma Wyant, the true champion. But in short, Leah crushed the female competition. I'm not devastated, but then I'm not a woman who swam all her life competitively. I'm just a biological male who drinks competitively, and I got the trophies and liver to prove it. Swimming is something I do.
Why are we listening to a drunkard then?
It's true. I'm just warming the water for everybody else. Thank you. But I'm looking at this, and I can't deny what I see.
They don't give a shit.
It seems more interested in appearing woke than protecting its athletes.
Matter of fact, not only do they not give a shit, they like actively mock women's sports. Notice like Brittany Griner, where we're talking about the integrity of women's sports here, and like these fucks never bring up Brittany Griner. You're not going to hear about her. And if they were to bring her up, it's only in the context to bash Russia, possibly, if they even bash Russia. Depends on which host is on. Some of them are sucking Putin's cock. But man, like they mock the WNBA and everything. They mock the women's soccer team. I would almost bet there are monologues of Greg Gutfeld mocking Megan Rapaport. Absolutely. They don't give a shit about women's sports.
But to make this ideology work, you have to erase the distinction between trans and biological women. That means it's not only women being erased from the record books of their own sports, they're being erased, period. No pun intended, since men can have periods too. So wait till the next Leah Thomas comes along and wants to play a contact sport.
Enough for this shit.
Women's lacrosse. And leaves a trail of injured women on the field. Maybe then the NC2A and their lawyers will finally say uncle. Or should I say aunt? Let's welcome tonight.
Also, the other example of a trans athlete they bring up is Fallon Fox, the MMA fighter. They always say that she broke her opponent's skull. What actually happened is an orbital bone fracture, which is one of the absolute most common fractures in the UFC or in MMA. Sorry, that's like calling, fucking a tissue a Kleenex because, Kleenex is the brand. It's calling everything UFC. Just like your mom called everything a Nintendo. All video games are that Nintendo over there. The arcade to play Nintendo. Sorry. One of the most common injuries in MMA is an orbital bone fracture, which is what Fallon Fox inflicted upon her opponent. If you ever hear a right-winger saying that nonsense. It's like, it's up here, like it's like inside your nose or some shit. Apparently it's very fucking painful. Wrestlers, it's pretty common with wrestlers too. Anybody who's, in danger of being struck here in this area. Okay, a Llano County librarian, if I'm saying that wrong, please. Oh, we got a local news hit. Good. They can say the name of the town or county. I don't have
in the
to.
classroom, and leaders and parents continue to argue over what kids should be allowed to read in the classroom. And now we're hearing from a local librarian who says she lost her job because of it. She refused to remove certain books from her library. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tom Miller.
I'm Amanda Dugan.
Hey, sounds like cancel culture to me.
Well, last year, the governor called for a criminal investigation into what he called pornographic books in public schools. Since then, the conversations flooded over into public libraries. Nabil Ramana talked with a former Llano County librarian about why she chose to take a stand.
For fuck's sake, make cannabis federally legal.
On March 9th, Suzette Baker was terminated from her position.
For creating a
God damn, Joe Biden, how stupid are you? The keys to the 2022 election are just right there in front of you. All you gotta do is cancel student debt and make pot federally legal. Or federally decriminalized, at least. That's all you gotta do. It's right there in front of you. 2022, yours on a silver platter. Those are the two things. I said that, goddamn, I said that in 2012. It's like the Democrats are stupid. They are stupid for not running every single congressional race on legalization. In 2012! Democrats, it's 2022 now. That's a simple thing that Joe Biden can do on his own. Decriminalization and cancel student debt. Boom, easy. One day, it's an announcement, and it's done. Fuck, dude, get it together.
Disturbance, insubordination, violation of policies, and failure to follow instructions.
As head librarian at
Not all of them, but yes, the corporate ones.
She says when she didn't remove certain books from her shelves, the county removed her.
The books in my library in Kingsland were not taken off the shelves. We did not move them. I told my boss that was censorship.
According to Baker, a group of people had reached out to the library system about books which were deemed inappropriate or pornographic, and they wanted them removed. She claims one of the books about life as a transgender.
By the way, this is a specific list that is being circulated by these hard right-wing groups to all these different parent organizations and shit. Like, you need to go to your library and you need to check and make sure if they have these books. Just to raise a fucking ruckus all over this country, these assholes.
13.
It is her biography of growing up as a transgendered teenager. And
fair enough, Dip, fair enough.
This group thought that was too much for their children to read, which nobody's forcing their children to read anything. It's just available in the library.
I always thought she was extremely professional, very knowledgeable, has a strong character, and did her job well.
Sounds like somebody we need as a librarian.
Green Little, a patron of the Llano County Libraries. She says there has been no transparency within the library system.
I have now counted 12 books that I know have been removed from Llano County Library, and I can't get clarification from the county or from the library system on why.
According to the Texas Tribune, the library staff conducted a thorough review of every children's book in the library to assess their content.
Again, there are very clear rules that should be followed with regards to censorship of books in the public library. Those rules were not followed.
It may not be my book, it may not be your book, but it could be somebody else.
It's an astroturfed issue, yes.
That choice away from them.
And I reached out to multiple.
And it's the Moms for Liberty. It's all those different offshoot groups. They're all connected too. They're all getting their funding from the same place.
Now, both Little and Baker are also both concerned about the newly formed Library Advisory Board tasked with reviewing the book.
Was it Llano?
It's holding some meetings behind closed.
Llano County?
So. Yeah. The other thing interesting about this is that this is not a school library. This was a city library where you think, adults are pulling books in a lot of cases, and they're limiting what you
have access
could
to.
potentially have access to.
Whoa! I didn't even notice it was the city library. I was talking through all that.
Looking into legal action, and then she's also reached out to a number of organizations.
Yes, look into legal action.
American Library Association. So I think she's going to get some feedback, and we'll see where this goes. So
okay, all right, thank you.
Good goddamn.
Going in depth for you, this all started last October. Republican State Representative Matt Krause of Fort Worth called for investigation into some Texas school books. He asked the Texas Education Agency to identify what books are on school shelves particularly if they pertain to race, sexuality, or, quote, make students feel discomfort.
Ogiano.
The Bill started looking into the story
Oh,
after
cool.
some concern from folks in Kingsland, and they reached out to KXAN. If you have anything you
Well,
want
I assume it's
reach out to
Spanish.
us at reportit@kxan.com. You can also scan this QR code on your screen.
Duh, Justin. I took Spanish in 8th grade. I should have known that. To all you California residents that might be watching.
This afternoon, Governor Newsom announced a multi-billion-dollar relief package to help out Californians as gas prices continue to soar.
On top of a $400 rebate, the package includes public transit incentives and a pause on certain gas tax hikes. KTLA 5's Gene King live now in West Hollywood with more details.
They got that bougie gas behind them.
Hi, Lou. Hi, Glenn. Well, as you mentioned, the governor just put a lot on the table. This is a proposal that could save billions of dollars. We're talking also about the gas relief, and that is welcome news as you see people here at the pump. That means hundreds of dollars in rebates for drivers and other motorists.
I don't think that dude agreed to be on camera.
This direct relief is on top of the $10+ billion that we have distributed over the last year with the Golden State stimulus. So all told, close to $20 billion of direct tax relief here in the state of California. And by the way, we're building on this direct tax relief by also providing.
I argued with a dude today. I was like, he's like, the Green New Deal is killing us. I'm like, no legislation has passed about the Green New Deal. What are you talking about? And he was like, dyed diesel, look up dyed diesel, blah, blah, blah. I did. It was passed by the Bush administration in 2001. And if I had to guess, there's like different types, different grades of diesel, and they started dyeing, like there's clear diesel, which you use in a consumer vehicle, but then there's like other types of diesel have to be dyed red or dyed green or some shit. I assume it has something to do with bomb making post 9/11 if the law was passed in 2001. But it was George Bush that passed that on the federal level. There's state laws. George Bush, it was George Bush. It passed under Bush. Amended in 2004 and 2006. Also under George Bush. It's the fucking craziest thing. Right-wingers don't know how anything works. And it's frustrating arguing with them. I wish they could feel embarrassment. It would save the rest of us so much time. But like they're too stupid to understand how stupid they are to feel embarrassment about being stupid.
Providing the opportunity for transit agencies to provide upwards of 3 months of free public transit, and also accelerating efforts to increase investments in pedestrian and bicycle safety.
The radical leftists.
Numbers involved. Let's go over that. Part of the
as if a radical leftist has ever gotten any kind of shit
refunds for Californians. That breaks down to $400 in direct payments per vehicle, with a maximum of $800 for 2 vehicles. $750 million in grants to support transit and rail agencies, so they can provide free bus, subway, and light rail to travel.
So yes, I'm assuming they're going to go by your vehicle registration. 2 direct payments of $400 per vehicle, or max of 2. You got 2 vehicles. I would assume they determine that by your registration. But I believe it is. See, it says Governor Newsom proposes $400 debit cards. I don't think you're going to have to use them on fuel. They're going to do it specifically targeted to motorists.
Travelers for 3 months, up to $600 million to pause part of the sales tax rate. That's on diesel fuel for 1 year, and $523 million to temporarily stop inflation on tax, the gas and diesel tax rates as well. Now back out here live, the governor also saying in a statement that this has a direct relationship to the...
They want to know what radical is. They need to take a look at my ass hair. Yeah, I fucked my joke up.
With some type of relief, especially now. Bring live here in West Hollywood, Gene King. I'm going to send it back to you.
I am pretty sure it's a debit card. I don't Like it may be like a only usable at gas stations. I don't know how they would go about doing that.
The countdown to...
But I don't know if there's some limitations on it, but according to the article, it seems like it's going to be a debit card. I don't understand why they wouldn't just do a payment into your bank account, but then again, state government doesn't really have your bank account on file the way the IRS does, which is why it was so much easier for the feds to send us our stimulus checks. That direct deposit. Ah, shit, RB, I'm sorry. That sucks. I was hoping you'd get your $400 debit card.
The countdown to curfew is on.
Yeah, it has been a little crazy.
When the clock strikes midnight, bars and restaurants will close for the night. And starting in an hour, liquor stores will stop selling alcohol.
Yeah, that's kind of BS.
But city leaders say the violence is...
Well, they're probably doing it by registration, Deb.
24/7 partying has to come to an end.
You have to have your registration on file.
As the night progresses. And I would tell anybody who's having any reservations about this curfew, including whether we're legally challenged, I would say that the judge needs to go down there and see in person, firsthand, what is happening. It is
even if you're violating the law, hey judge, come down here and see what's going on. We need to violate the law because this shit is so bad.
Not safe.
Miami Beach Commissioner Stephen Miner says some of the measures they've tried to enforce were shut down in court.
We were legally told that we could not implement emergency measures beforehand because it wasn't an emergency yet. Unfortunately, you have to wait for the emergency to happen.
Since Sunday, there's been 2 shootings, sending 5 people to the hospital. And since the start of spring break, 9 officers have been injured.
I mean, look at the amount of people on the streets, you know?
Well, that's what makes it difficult.
Today, officers are out in full force.
I've been talking first and foremost for several years that we must have a visible police presence, that our police need to be visibly present to deter crime. They're present. You cannot walk down Ocean Drive at night like I did. They are everywhere.
He's got a hard on for the cops. They're present.
The curfew.
I think it's a good idea.
But especially with shootings, like I'm not against the safety precautions.
I thought this was America.
Others who are just visiting for the week say some people are ruining it for everyone.
It's younger kids with liquor and they don't know how to handle themselves.
I wonder how many alcohol poisoning cases they had. I don't know. All right, you guys pick. I've got like. Am I gonna do the next story or not? I'm not gonna tell you what it is. Yes or no? Like I'm waffling on it. I don't know if I want to do it or not. It involves a musician, a right-wing musician. So you guys let me know if you want to watch this next video or not. Yes! Dip is a glutton for pain. So here is Matt Walsh commenting on Kid Rock on Tucker Carlson. It's a turducken. It's a turducken of just horrible ass people. Matt Walsh on the Matt Walsh Show talking about Kid Rock, who apparently got some access to some like classified information about North Korea while he was golfing with Trump. Trump apparently asked him his thoughts on North Korea. Does Kid Rock play an instrument? It's my contention, like that fucking that one song he did a couple months ago, that "Don't Tell Me How to Live." That's just a monster truck song. Like they wrote that that came out like a year, two, 3 fucking years ago. A turducken. Remember, this guy made a joke about how much I can bench press. Matt Walsh talks about Kid Rock being interviewed by Tucker Carlson.
Interviewed by Tucker Carlson a few days ago, and he said something about cancel culture that I actually thought was pretty important. So I want to play that for you. Listen.
We're not even gonna focus on the fact that the yokel was apparently exposed to classified intel and was asked his advice on international affairs. If it was a Democrat that had a fucking asshole like Kid Rock come to, can you imagine if remember the fucking fit they threw over Common performing at the White House? Common. I don't even know what the issue was with Common. Common's amazing. I thought like Common's one of those like rappers, hip hop artists that you could like. I thought you could show them to other people and they would be able to appreciate the artistry. That's how fucking good Common is. But they threw an absolute shit fit over Common just coming to the White House. Can you imagine the shit they would have said if Common had been asked his thoughts on you fucking, what do you think about Russia invading Ukraine there, Common? Fuck. But because it's Kid Rock, we're just gonna ignore that. He was exposed to state secrets. Oh, but let's talk about cancel culture.
Why haven't you been canceled? Like, people aren't allowed to say what they think. You are.
I am uncancelable.
Why's that?
Because I don't give a
Because you're rich.
And I'm not in bed with any big corporate things at the end of the day. There's nobody I'm beholden to, no record companies, no corporate interests, no nothing. And you can't cancel me. I love it when they try. I'm like, yeah, let's have some fun.
Why aren't there more artists?
Thank you. Accidentally based Kid Rock calls out the problem. The real cancel culture is corporate America that wants to sanitize everything to make sure it appeals to a mass audience to make as much money as it possibly can. Thank you. Are you calling Kid Rock Garth, Spider Pickle? Because Garth is good. I like Garth. Garth transcends country music. I'm a big Garth Brooks fan. Garth Brooks is cool in my book. Oh, no. You mean Garth is in like Wayne and Garth, don't you? You think he looks like Garth from Wayne's World. That's it. Boom. My stoner ass.
Just like that.
Because they're in bed with record companies and, you know, corporate deals and structures at every level. And, you know, it's, and if someone finds a way to get me a little bit here and there, I'll find another way around it.
You never see artists talk like that. They seem very easy to intimidate.
It'd be funny if Tucker was like, whoa.
Did you realize, like, you're just
light up that cigar?
Day one.
Really?
I think I crawled out of the womb with both middle fingers in the air.
So he's right that there are, it's an important point, that there are two ways to get canceled. And it's really, there's really only two. There are only two ways for it to happen. Two kind of.
Here's the thing is like,
it's just,
Kid Rock wasn't really popular when the whole Trump thing happened.
Or both. So either, in order to be canceled, you have to be beholden to corporate interests. As
capitalism.
Many people are. I mean, if you work for a big giant corporation, then in that way you're beholden to them because you work for them.
Capitalism.
Through no fault of your own. I mean, you have to have a job, but so that's one.
Capitalism.
Way. You're kind of at the mercy of.
You have to work for the people that own the means of production.
Then that's one way to cancel.
If, hear me out here, if we had co-ops and we had industries that were nationalized, the government was just employing people, you wouldn't be beholden to corporate interests, and there'd be no cancel culture. Holy shit. Wow. Who would have thunk it?
The other.
Don't even get me started on the music industry. Shit. Which, I mean, Kid Rock at this point, the cool thing about the music industry right now is if you're a band and you have like one hit, if you are lucky enough to have one song that breaks through and you can get like a modicum of success, you can actually develop a following, tour, sell merch and everything, and do that independently of any kind of like, I call it the Modest Mouse model. Had him a nice little hit in what, like 2004? They've had some mild success on the radio since with a couple of different songs, but ultimately, you know, they're kind of an obscure band. But they play clubs and fucking and theaters and shit, and they do well for themselves. That would, if I was an artist, that would be the track I would want to take. I wouldn't want to be fucking arena shows suck. It doesn't have the magic and the electricity of the smaller shows. Oh, now, okay. Here's the thing, Dip. When he calls himself a theocratic fascist, he would tell you that he is trolling you and that he's not actually a theocratic fascist. But, like, he's clearly a theocratic fascist. Because, like, that's supposedly a joke that he says that on his Twitter. For those of you listening to the audio, we're talking about Matt Walsh, who his Twitter bio calls him a theocratic fascist. But any Matt Walsh fan would say to you, they're like, oh no, that's just trolling you. That's just to trigger the libs. They don't fucking get irony. They have zero self-awareness.
Way is if you care what the mob thinks about you. And that's why we see people who wouldn't seem to really be beholden to anyone. There's no reason why.
Exactly, like fucking Matt Walsh doesn't care about anybody liking him. So that's why he can't be canceled.
They need to be beholden to you. Rich and famous people got all the money in the world, and even if they get canceled by corporations, they're not really canceled. They're still going to be rich. They're still going to be famous. They could go out on their own and do their own thing, but they still apologize and crumble and everything because although they're not really beholden to corporate interests, or maybe they are a little bit, the bigger issue is that they care.
All the usual suspects fund him, Dip.
So either you care what the mob thinks or you're beholden to corporate interests, or both. You know, and for a lot of people, it's both.
But now the Daily Wire is becoming a self-sustaining entity now, and it might actually be turning a profit. We're gonna get into that in just a second. After this video is business dealings of the Daily Wire.
Especially a lot of celebrities and so on. The answer is both there. So if you want to be uncancelable, that's the way to do it. Now, you know, unfortunately, lots of people are not in the spot that Kid Rock is in, where you could be wealthy and all of that, and you know, you don't need to go to any corporation or anyone looking for a job. You can kind of do your own thing. So not everyone's in that spot, but at least
you're mad about capitalism.
Is the second part, which gives you some cover anyway in cancel culture, which is to stop caring what the mob thinks to begin with. A lot of the cancellations that happen, it's really a self-cancellation. The mob gives the gun to the canceled person and just convinces them to pull the trigger against themselves, metaphorically.
Well, it's like the Heritage Foundation, all those fucking fucks. See if we can let's get a list here. I assume there's Mercer money. Dan Wilkes. Ferris and Dan Wilkes, they are fracking billionaires. TYT investigates here. Boom. I trust TYT. And that's the thing. I've been applying for jobs and it's been like shit, like in Atlanta, but like I might go and apply for Vice, TYT and shit. Like now's the time. I'm like, if I'm ever at that point in my career, now's the time. I don't think like I don't. If I went to Vice, I'm not going to be a host. I'm going to be a producer, sound guy, a cameraman, some shit like that. I won't be a fucking host or anything. Maybe eventually. I don't know. That would be the kind of position I would want to take. I'm floor director for TYT. That would be fun as fuck. the Chank and Anna's floor director, be a producer. I'd enjoy that. Some producers, like, they double on camera as well. Like JR, he is a producer, but hops on camera. Ben Shapiro, so-called conservative wonderkind and cool kid philosopher and principled gladiator. While these types of profiles, okay. Turning Point USA, Young America's Foundation, propped up with cash from wealthy conservatives, and both groups put Shapiro in the company of racist and Islamophobic figures. Prominent political GOP donors to these groups include Charles Koch, Betsy DeVos, Robert and Rebecca Mercer. These are the usual suspects. Bruce Rauner, Richard Olin, Bernie Marcus, and Foster Freeze. That dude that had a real hard-on for the Clintons all those years. I'm not seeing any Peter Thiel money. Peter Thiel's weird. That's what I kept. And Don't Look Up, everybody kept calling the dude that ran the $1 trillion company, space company. They kept calling him like a cross between Bezos and Elon Musk and shit. And I'm like, nah, that was totally Peter Thiel. That guy played it like he was Peter fucking Thiel. Weirdo. While the funding behind Breitbart News and Shapiro's current platform, The Daily Wire, is well known, a full picture of the money behind Shapiro makes it clear that his career depends on a much larger group of major conservatives than he would perhaps like to admit. Yeah, it's a whole fucking web of foundations and shit where they slosh money around. I would turn right-winger and take the money. I'm at a point where I just like a little money to be comfortable. I live by the seat of my pants, kind of, and I'd kind of like I'd like to not do that anymore. Up on almost 40. I would turn right-winger and I would cash out. But I couldn't do, like, this week I would have to talk about the Leah Thomas story, and there's just absolutely no way in good conscience I could ever I don't even know how to wrap my head around how to make an argument against that woman. I don't understand the right-wing arguments. I couldn't repeat them. So, like, I could never turn right-winger. It's impossible. I don't grasp how their mind works. It baffles me. I'm gobsmacked by the stupidity. So I don't. It'd be fun to do for just a couple of years, and like I make it to the Daily Wire, and then be like, "Haha, everyone! I was actually a lefty the whole time. I don't believe any of this stuff." That's how easy. There's a video of me saying I was going to grift you, even though this video exists, because I have that. I would like to have the money to be able to help my friends out and to be able to give to more charity than I do. To support more causes that, like, because I've got like dollar like auto deducts for like Amnesty. I turned my Act Blue off. I'm pissed at Act Blue. But like I had since like fucking 2015, 2016, I had like a monthly donation of $1 to Act Blue to the the Democratic candidates. And fucking I give heavily to candidate Sahid Buttar. I gave multiple times to fucking any Democrat that's in a race I'm really wanting to see an outcome. Sahid Buttar was trying to unseat Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, I was given to a primary race. Like, I want to be able to do more of that. I want to be able to, I want to be able to help my friends out. Most of the time somebody's asking for money. It's like, hey, can you spot me money? Me. I don't like that. I want to be able to spot other people's money. Don't even worry about it. Oh God, we were watching. I'm done with Matt Walsh. Fuck it, we shouldn't need charity. We shouldn't. But unfortunately we do, and unfortunately the charities that do the best work go with the least funding. The causes I think are neglected have the least funding, and that upsets me. All right, speaking of funding, Jeremy's Razors. This is apparently the greatest commercial ever because the Daily Wire wouldn't be hyperbolic at all. They are upset. They got triggered by the fact that a company pulled out. A year ago, Harry's Razors advertised on our shows, but then they pulled their ads due to values misalignment, which is literally capitalism. You just heard one of the Daily Wire's hosts go off on cancel culture. So this company, who was supporting them financially, decided like, oh, we don't really like your content. We're going to pull out. But we funded you before, but now like your content's gotten a little controversial, so like we don't want any part of it. Daily Wire has now decided to go after that company. This feels like cancel culture to me. Feels like they're trying to cancel Harry's Razors just because they don't like that. It doesn't seem that Harry's did anything to Daily Wire. Just quit buying ads on their shows. So they disagreed with Harry's not buying ads on their shows, and they're introducing Jeremy's Razors. Stop giving your money to woke corporations that hate you. The Daily Wire, a propaganda machine, is going after an independent company they're trying to cancel culture. A company that's just trying to do their best in the world. They're like, advertise on shit that aligns with their values. And what kind of a commercial does the Daily Wire make for this? It's like a self-indulgent 3.5, 4 minute fucking like the production value on this is probably going to blow us the fuck away. This is what billionaire money gets you. That's a fucking, is that a Lamborghini, a Ferrari? It's some fucking high-end sports car. I don't even know. I'm too poor to even know what the fuck that car is called.
Do you remember when there were 2 genders and only 1.5 of them had to shave their mustaches? Oh, hi. I'm Jeremy Boring, CEO and God King of the Daily Wire. Harry's Razors used to advertise on our shows. They're a great product, and we were happy to do it. That's before some peon who works for me went and said that boys are boys and girls are girls, and that was just too much for Harry's. They condemned our views held by millions.
Well, I mean, I agree with the dude. Fucking Michael Knowles, I wouldn't high-five him either. And holy shit, look at their fucking offices. Look at the money these motherfuckers have.
Razors used to advertise on our shows. They're a great product, and we were happy to do it. That's before some peon who works for me went and said that boys are boys and girls are...
By the way, these fuckers would call each and every one of us elitists. These fuckers would call us elitists in a heartbeat. You know it.
Girls. And that was just too much for Harry's. They condemned our views held by millions of Americans and virtually every human who's walked the planet until about 15 minutes ago, as inexcusable. And they dropped their ads from our network because of what they called values misalignment. You're damn right our values are misaligned. And it's not just Harry's either. Gillette razors used to be the best a man could get. Then they decided that men are too toxic. Unless you're the kind of man who teaches his daughter to shave her beard. If that makes sense to you, keep buying Gillette. But if you've had enough of the woke bullshit, and you're tired of paying companies like Harry's and Gillette to hate you,
this is a multi-million-dollar commercial, guys. This is a multi-million-dollar production. That model was incredibly expensive. He's got a fucking flamethrower.
then buy my new razor instead. Behold, Jeremy's razors. Yes, they're real. Yes, they're fabulous. But Jeremy, you say, you're a svelte silver fox with a salt and pepper beard that's the envy of lesser men.
I am not envious of your shitty-ass beard, dude.
And I want to be clear that shaving with the Jeremy's razor won't actually make you look more like me.
Yes, you're giving me fierce. You're giving me power.
Could make you look more like this guy, though. And that's the most homoerotic moment you'll ever...
Yes, I was getting ready to say that was incredibly homoerotic. The fuck? And we're 2 minutes into this. There's still another 2 minutes.
Get from a Jeremy's razor commercial. What kind of man shaves with a Jeremy's razor? I don't know. How about cowboys, firefighters, those guys that shot Osama bin Laden? I mean, no, none of those guys have ever even heard of a Jeremy's razor, but imagine how much more manly they'd be if they had.
They're at the Ryman. They rented the Ryman for this spot. That is the Ryman Auditorium. It is a sacred music venue. Fuck them for being on that stage.
Right now, you're probably wondering...
I'm not sure. Look that up, Dip.
Joke. Sure it is. That doesn't mean it isn't real, or that it won't be the best shave of your life.
I will.
Harry's Razors doesn't want your business. I do. They seem to hate you, and I can't say that I love you, but I don't mean you any specific harm.
Kristen Beck.
Our country's in trouble. Conservatives are being canceled by Hollywood, the media, universities, and now Harry's Razors. Stop giving your money to woke corporations.
So, very good point. Talking about SEAL Team 6 and their manliness. Here is Chris Beck. I'm sorry. No, that's their dead name. My apologies. Kristen Beck. Former SEAL Team 6 member. The props, everything. There's one of the cigar store Indians. There's a cigar store Indian statue of Elizabeth Warren. Fuck.
Our country's in trouble. Conservatives are being canceled by Hollywood, the media, universities, and now Harry's Razors. Stop giving your money to woke corporations who don't think you deserve their product. Give it to me instead.
Head over to IHateHarrys.com and pre-order your Founders Series razor and shaving cream set today.
How much does that stupid shit cost? How much does that stupid shit cost? There's like a Dollar Shave Club where you get like fucking dollar blades sent to your house. I don't know. I use women's razors. I feel that I get the best results from a Bic Soleil. But that's me. I'm not giving you advice on facial hair. I've got plenty of hair, so you would think that I would know what I'm talking about, though. Let's see a price. We're gonna go with every 2 months here. Price is an 8-pack every 2 months. The Founders Kit is $41. What does the Founders Kit come with? The subscription was $18 for 8 sets of blades. What does the Founders Kit come with? Only $59.99. A travel case, a Founders Series razor, 8-blade subscription, shaving cream, and post-shave balm for $60. Rip-off. Absolute rip-off. That shaving set is like $20. You get shit like that at Christmas at any fucking box store. It's $20 fucking dollars. Rip-off. The Daily Wire is a rip-off. They are grifters. I don't think it goes. I think it goes without saying, but like, do not order their product. I don't think anybody on here would. Got a much more intelligent audience than someone who would consume the Daily Wire. Now, this is a little experiment we're doing here. They didn't wake up the cat. If you'll notice, the cat is dead asleep. They decided to sneak a scramp under the cat's nose. Is it no? Is it dreaming of the scrimp? Look at its little mouth. You thought we were trying to scare the cat? No. We're gonna treat the cat. Start smelling it. It's dreaming, like its mouth starts watering. It's twitching, like it's like scramp. What do you mean? Cats love shrimp. Well, most cats do. Maynard actually doesn't like shrimp. It's amazing that they were able to get that close to the cat without waking it up. Cats, that scramp could have been dead before it ever, was harvested. Scramps don't have feelings, do they? Like, they don't have brains. They're just like, they're like a weird, I might be wrong on that. Like, aren't they like really primitive? They have a nervous system, but like there's no like brain, is there? Coping? What? No, I'm being scientifically correct here. I think. I don't know. I'm gonna learn about scramp tonight. Because unlike this cat, I'm getting really fucking hungry. So if you're watching on Twitch, you're heading over to producer Dave with Egoplex Media. He's gonna take real good care of you. I was told there'd be no more Weinstein, but apparently he's doing Eric Weinstein. There's no Brett Weinstein. So apparently you're getting Eric Weinstein over there. Oh, it's Wednesday night. For some reason I was thinking it was Tuesday because I wasn't on last night. Yes, it's Intellectual Dollar Tree. That's why it's Eric Weinstein. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin FREAKIN. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol. Live. Send all the Twitch people away. I'll let the YouTube people finish watching the cat video.